Locked on Bulls. On today's episode, we're going to be playing Fool's Gold or the Real Deal with the Chicago Bulls offseason. Who is the real deal? Who's Fool's Gold? We're going to get into all that, plus a player profile on DeMar DeRozan. We're going to get into all that and more on today's Locked on Bulls.
You are Locked on Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked on Bulls, member of the Locked on Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. That's Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. Pat, the Bulls preseason went off very well. Now, we want to break it down. We want to separate the real from the fake. And we're going to play a little game called Real Deal or Fool's Gold. Now, I'm going to
have some game music. You ain't got no game music, dog. You ain't got no.
You going to tell me that after we go live?
Well, that's what you going to tell me. Started the live, bro.
That's true. That's true. It is what it is. So I'm going to throw some Bulls players at you, some concepts, some things. You're going to tell me if you feel like it's Fool's Gold or the real deal. We got to start off at the top. Javonte Green's improved play. Do you think this is Fool's Gold or is this the real deal?
Now, in the spirit of the game, right, I have to say Fool's Gold, but not saying that Javonte is going to be bad this season. I think that Javonte is just going to be kind of around what he's been, right? 12 point per game guy, give you a good rebounding this year. I think he'll add the three ball, which will help him a lot which will help the Chicago Bulls out a lot. But I mean, dog, he shot. What did he shoot for the preseason? Like 80% from the field,
72% from the field, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, Fool's Gold, bro. I'm throwing out the Fool's Gold early on this one. But I do think that Javonte Green will be an excellent contributor to the Chicago Bulls. And if it's not Fool's Gold, then he'll go down as one of the best players in NBA history.
I mean, I understand you saying that you have to name that as Fool's Gold just because of the percentages in which he shot it at. I'm looking at it this way. I'm saying it's the real deal because of the improved play. But if you expect him to keep, if anybody's out there expecting him to keep those averages, that's Fool's Gold because it's not. That would literally be one of the best seasons in NBA history if he's able to keep those percentages.
That would be the best season if he's shooting 72% from the field overall. That's the best season in NBA history.
Now let's say this is for the nature of the conversation. Let's say this is not Fool's Gold. Let's say Javonte Green from the field shoots 70% for the season. Are the Bulls? They have to be in the second round of the playoffs at that point, right?
Bro, if he shoots 72% on the season, you understand what 72% is? He makes 7 out of 10 buckets. If he shoots 72% on the season, the Bulls are winning an NBA championship. 72%? He's
72%. You know what would be funny if Javonte literally gets to 72% and does not take another shot the rest of the game?
Just the rest of the year?
The rest of the year, he just doesn't take a shot.
Didn't they do that with Kyle Korver? Like he broke the 3-point, I think the 3-point percentage for the season, and he had one game to go, and then he just didn't take another three.
I think that was it. I think you're definitely on that. I think you're definitely on something with that one. All right, let's move on. The improved play of Nikola Vucevic, real deal or Fool's Gold?
I'm gonna say that's the real deal, right? Because I think that's just Vooch getting back to what he always.
It's Orlando Vooch.
It's Orlando Vooch. By the way, best shooting percentage in NBA history. This will blow your mind. DeAndre Jordan, 67%.
Doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, look at how he got his buckets.
But no, yeah, I think that I think that this is him kind of understanding what his role is. I think there's a big understanding on all parts with Nikola Vucevic, right? Vooch kind of letting Billy Donovan know, hey, I'm going to be able to play better down here. I'm going to be able to contribute more down here. Billy Donovan saying, hey, okay, let's go with that. At least it's in preseason, right?
Yeah.
And Vooch getting used to being the number 3 guy on the team, right? Like, yeah. I think people underestimated how big of a change that is. It's not
going
like
from number 1 to number 3,
the best
to
like the second option. Vooch went from being the best to the third option. Like, he's not getting the same looks, and that's a major change.
Yeah, for sure. Agree
I'ma
with
say
you
real
100% on that
deal.
one. All right, fair enough. Real deal or fool's gold? Zach LaVine's downplay. You got some Bulls fans out here saying that they're idiots. I'm not even going to say what they said. Nonetheless, real deal or fool's gold with Zach LaVine playing this badly?
I'm gonna say this is fool's gold. I think that this is a prove it year for Zach LaVine, and every time Zach LaVine's had to prove it, he's done so. I don't have a reason to doubt now. I think that Zach LaVine's going to come out and give you one of the best seasons of his NBA career. Especially coming off of injury, especially hearing everybody say, "Oh my God, it's DeMar DeRozan's team now. Zach LaVine has somebody come in and take his team," and it's like,
Your annoyed Bulls fan voice is
bro,
it's hilarious.
because it irritates me so much. By the way, these are people on my show, by the way, but like, it irritates me so much. It's like he let another man come into his house and take his team. It's like he was hurt. He couldn't play. And when he did play, he was playing hurt. So I'm calling fool's gold on that one.
All right, fair enough. Fool's gold or real deal? Dalen Terry being ready to produce at an NBA level. Does he deserve some minutes? What are you making of that?
I'm going to say real deal, but a lot more like what we saw in the last game than what we saw in his first game.
I like that.
I think Dalen's going to have moments, but I think Dalen's going to be energy off the bench. I think Dalen's going to be, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the job done here. Very, like I said, I don't know if you can be the glue guy in your rookie year. I doubt that that's going to happen, but a very Draymond Green type role, right? Because there's moments where Dalen's looking to pass. There's moments where Dalen says, F it, I'm going to go to the bucket and get this lay. There's moments where Dalen says, I'm going to just sit here and play back and play defense and wait for somebody to throw me the ball, right? Like, so I think he's just going to kind of be a whatever you guys need, I'm going to do. And so I'm going to say real deal, but I don't think he's like, what was his first game? It was like 11, 7, and 5 or something like that.
I don't know. He stuffed the stat sheet. Yeah, for sure. All right, real deal or fool's gold? Kobe White improving on the defensive end.
I'm going. That's tough. Poor Kobe.
I didn't give you the number. So it came out. So in preseason, the Bulls were plus, or the I guess is the other team minus. They were 6 points better defensively when he was, meaning that they outscored teams by 6 points when Kobe White was on the floor last season. Again. And his man, he held his man, whoever he was guarding at that time. They shot 8 worse percentage points than what they did when Kobe was not. Is that the real deal? Or is that fool's gold? When it comes to Kobe?
Fool's gold. And again, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because it's the same reason why I tell Bulls fans, please don't use plus minus with me. Like plus minus absolutely has its place in the NBA. It's very minuscule because Kobe White, yes, they scored 6 less points. You want to know why? Because most of the time he was on the floor. He was on the floor with Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond, and Patrick Williams. Yeah, you're going to get some help defense there. And as far as his man scoring 8 less points, like I'm sure there was some help coming over. Now, if those are one-on-one numbers, hey, clap it up for Kobe White. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. Hopefully he does improve, but I'm going to say fool's gold just because I'm also not expecting Kobe to be that level of defender. I just need him to be competent. The real deal with me with Kobe White, I hope, is that even if he's shooting the ball poorly, we saw him playing still pretty good defense. I think that's the thing that Bulls fans want to see more so than anything.
Fair enough. Real deal or fool's gold? The improved motion, read, and react offense that Billy Donovan has implemented this offseason. I said it's not just players. We got to evaluate coaches as well on this. This is maybe the hardest one in the bunch, right?
I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I feel like it's fool's gold.
Okay.
Because it looks great. It feels great. There's more movement. There's more. But at the end of the day, right, Billy Donovan's a very let the players figure it out kind of coach. And if you let the players figure it out, the players are going to go to what they feel safe with. And we saw it at moments in the preseason as well. When DeMar DeRozan's on the floor, Bulls fans feel safe, or the Chicago Bulls feel safe putting the ball in his hand. They feel safe putting the ball in Vujicic's hand. They feel safe putting the ball in Zach's hand. And there's just going to be those moments where guys are just standing around watching. Hopefully they're far and few between, but those moments are absolutely going to pop up.
All right, fair enough. Last one, quick one. Fool's gold, real deal. Patrick Williams is no longer the starting power forward for the Chicago Bulls.
It's fool's gold to me as well. Just because who they're going to start. Like, it'd be crazy to me for them to start. Now, I will say this, right? They might run Patrick Williams more with the bench players, because even P. Will talked about how he felt more
comfortable with the ball in his
hand, and you're going to get more of those opportunities with the bench. But I think starting the game right, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage running the 6'4" guy out there. Although I will say, right, we didn't see it with a 6'7" guy behind him. It was like
this
a 6'4" guy to another 6'4" guy.
A 6'6" guy and Derrick Jones. So, yeah. That fair enough. And you can still play Javonte. Like, I even if Javonte does start, I think it may be the Keith Bogans type of start, to where not to where he's just going to sit, but I mean in the sense that he may start the game. Patrick Williams may get in early, and then we may see Javonte at that point on fluctuate between the 3 and the 4. He's just going to come in, play some with Patrick Williams, play some without. So I think that may be the way that it goes, and I think the Bulls team would be better for it. But I think Patrick Williams is going to eventually be the starting power forward again. Now, does he hold on to that position is the key, and how he plays when he does get a chance to get back in there is going to be key. Next up, we're going to talk about DeMar DeRozan and our expectations for him going into the next season as we do a player preview on him. But first, got to talk to you guys about BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your number one source for your football betting info this season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth articles and analysis on every game you can find. As always, BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting and up-to-the-minute scores for every sport out there. The fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including MLB, MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to betonline.net or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, that's where the game starts. All right, so we started this off. We got to do a profile on Zach LaVine, our predictions for him going into the season, in which we both really want to see some defensive improvements, and we think his offense is going to take care of itself. When it comes to DeMar DeRozan, though, what are your expectations for him? You can give it numbers, you can give it overall, whatever you want to do. What do you expect from DeMar DeRozan in the 2022-23 season?
I still expect DeMar to come out and be an assassin. Did anybody just like remember him putting up 21 points? And then you just looked at the stat sheet and you were like, when did he get these? Like, his game is so smooth. It's so methodical. It's so, bro, I remember, like, he put up 19, I think, in the last game they played. And I was like, I think I remember him taking 2 shots, and I'm calling it. Like, so I think DeMar is still going to come out and be an assassin. I hope, though, that what we do see from DeMar DeRozan this season is the ability to take a backseat role and be able to step up when needed. That's where I want to see those improved numbers from Zach, want to see those improved numbers from Vooch, want to see those improved numbers from Patrick Williams, right? Like my expectation on him hasn't changed for him taking a step. It's just him going to the bench. So, or him possibly playing more with the bench players, I should say. So I look at DeMar DeRozan coming into this season, and I'm going to be real with you. I would love to see San Antonio DeMar maybe still getting above 20. I think the Bulls are going to still need him to be a 22, 24 point per game type of guy. But I would love to see DeMar DeRozan the facilitator. I would love to see DeMar DeRozan the orchestrator, right? Because I think in those situations, right, then you do get a lot more of that random offense that we saw in preseason. And that kind of that puts the Bulls in a better situation. Of course, like I said, there's going to be those moments where everybody's standing around and DeMar DeRozan's just cooking. But I hope that those moments are a lot fewer this season, because I hope there's not going to be a necessity for him to break a Wilt record for us to win games.
I like where you went with that. I think my expectations from DeMar's going to be DeMar. I wouldn't even feel comfortable putting like a numbers expectation on DeMar, because regardless of what it is, he's going to be efficient at what he does. He's going to go about his business. The thing that I want to see from DeMar is not really from DeMar. It's that I want to see his teammates support him better, to where DeMar doesn't have to be the savior of us in the fourth quarter. There's absolutely going to be games of it. Are there going to be games where DeMar's ability to get buckets and get to the free throw line are going to be key? Absolutely, and I can't wait to see it. But I hope that it's not a we need this night in and night out thing. There was a period in the Chicago Bulls where it was like 20, 25 games in a row where it was literally, it had to be DeMar down the stretch every single game. You already knew what it was going to be. It was going to be DeMar. He was going to dribble the ball about 8 times, go up to the basket, get fouled, get the bucket and the foul sometimes, and it was going to save the Bulls some time. I want to see us play better. I want to see, especially with the read and react offense, the motion on offense, I want to see players support him better. And Zach LaVine got to step up, right?
Yeah.
And not in the sense that I feel like he didn't step up last season. He was hurt. I understand it. But we need that old Zach LaVine back. But outside of Zach and DeMar and Vooch, I need to see the other players support them better to where it doesn't make it easy for other defenses to key in on them. So DeMar's numbers may take a hit down, but that efficiency may even go up some with the pure output numbers going down, and that's fine as long as the team around you is supporting you better.
Yeah, 100%, right? And it's like when you look at DeMar's game, right, you understand that he can pretty much get a bucket whenever he wants, and in a multitude of different ways. But I think that the part that you have to see, and at the end of the day, right, like we have to also understand where it is. DeMar can come out in the preseason and say, hey, who's putting these caps on guys for their age? Who's putting these? But at the end of the day, right, if you want to go further than the second round of the playoffs, or if you want to get to the second round of the playoffs, you're going to need those guys to step up. You could visibly see that DeMar DeRozan was exhausted in that Milwaukee Bucks series, even though he's not going to tell you. You could visibly see that he was spent. He wasn't getting to his spots the same way. The Bucks were making him work even harder. And with the entire season that he had, he just wasn't able to get it going in the first round of the playoffs, right? Everybody wants to bring up the DeFrozen name. DeFrozen happened in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like the first round doesn't really quantify DeFrozen for me. There was, I just look at DeMar and I say, if we're going to go deep, and a lot of the Bulls on this team, if we're going to go deep in the playoffs, you have to have a team that is allowing your older players to rest. That's why, bro, I feel the same way about Andre Drummond on the Bulls that I felt about him on Philadelphia. Legitimately, second game, I was like, is Vooch okay? He's been out for a while. But it's just because Andre Drummond was able to give him that rest. Those are the things that are going to help you get further. And that's why, to me, right, Dalen Terry's important. Javonte Green's important because those are guys that can step in for DeMar and not replace what he does, but give him a legitimate breather.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the key thing, and that's why it is important that Javonte's play is a revelation because of that. Because if you look at the way that Javonte gets his buckets, it's the same way. No, he's not the dribbler; doesn't have the footwork that DeMar. But when you look at like having passers out there with Javonte cutting, it's going to get easy baskets, and he's going to get to the free throw line a lot just by his athleticism alone. Yeah. So that helps us not have to depend on DeMar to do all that all the time. And to the commenters on YouTube's points, having an improved bench, having Gorn on the bench as well, who's going to come in and be good that you can bet is going to get you bucket in key times. Yeah. Having an improved Kobe, if his shooting is improved and more consistent, things like that. God forbid Dalen Terry find his offensive groove about 40 games into the season. Those type of things are going to help the team. And having also Drummond, having a player that is going to not only get you extra possessions with rebounds, but when he gets you those extra possessions, there's about a 90% chance he's just going to take it right back up and dunk on your head.
Yeah. So I will say the aggressiveness that he shows around the bucket surprised me. I always knew of him as like the go up and get it. I'm gonna do a pump fake. I'm gonna get the lay. Drummond this season was like, nah, I'm finna dunk your top. That surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean Drummond's probably going to get to the line a lot too, and hopefully he can hit it at a decent clip. But
knocked down 2 in the game, right? Knocked down both free throws. Form looked a little bit better. I was like, okay, Andre.
Listen, Drummond's been working, bro. He's been working, bro.
I give him credit, man.
Because I remember, he used to kill us when he was in Detroit at times too. But like, it was more of a brooding type game. Like this one, Drummond has skills, bro. He got skills.
I used to hate him because he used to cook Joakim. Hey, bro, I used to hate that.
But you know what it was? No, when Drummond's rookie season, Joakim cooked him. I remember it. And then it was like after that point, he was like, I'm killing this big haired dude every single time from now on.
Hey, bro, I need to see. Let me see. Let me see what Stat Muse got. Andre Drummond. Let's last 5. Still a double-double. 11 and 10. Oh, Joakim was in Memphis at that point. Okay, that's a little.
That's Memphis. Joakim is different.
Memphis Joakim.
That's different. We don't care about Memphis Joakim. That's like Wizards Jordan. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Jordan.
But yeah, when it comes to DeMar, man, DeMar's gonna have a big season for the Chicago Bulls, as we should all expect, brother. But moving on from that into the last topic for today. Now, one of the biggest things in the Bulls Summer League, outside of Dalen Terry, Marco, the players that we already know, Malcolm Hill had a big Summer League. One of the ones that opened both of our eyes was McCormaker. The Bulls ended up not getting to sign him to a camp deal because he signed one with the Washington Wizards. The Wizards have cut McCormaker. Now, I know we signed Kostas Antetokounmpo, but if you were the Bulls, how quickly would you be getting McCormaker's agent on the line and be like, hey, man, you remember that summer you spent here? We need you to go ahead and come on back.
Do we have a spot for him? Because again, right?
And like the G League team, absolutely.
On the G League team, if we could sign him straight up to the G League team, then yeah, I don't think he'll end up being able to get on a two-way. But if we could sign him straight up to the G League team, I'd love to get McCormaker back here. He feels like the kind of player that can develop into something really, really nice. And I think that's why AK brought him in to really get a good look at him. I would love to get him in your system early and kind of try and figure out what he's going to be on this team. I look at his game and I'm like, bro, he essentially, it's still very raw, but he can do everything we're looking for him to do, at least right at a summer league level, which at a minimum is at a G League level. To me, that warrants giving him a look. Now we know, right, based on summer league and G League numbers, Billy Donovan might still not play you. So we don't know what the future is going to be on a McCormaker. But if you can sign him straight up to a G League deal, yeah, I don't see a reason why not.
Yeah, I mean, all the signs that we pointed to, that if you can develop that in your system, right, the playmaking, the putting the ball on the floor, the three-point shooting, like you want to try to bring that in, and you're familiar with them, right? Yeah, because am I wrong? Did the G League coach the summer league team, or was that a different assistant?
I think that was an assistant from Billy's actual staff.
Okay.
That coach is actually on our NBA staff. So
okay, all right. Well, hey, he's familiar with the system, so hopefully that comes along. Now, with that being said, let's talk about other players on this team. The Bulls have made a bunch of sign and waive moves over the last 24 hours. And why teams do that, for anyone who's wondering, why do they sign and waive a player? It actually allows that if that player comes in and plays in their G League team, they get $60,000 more dollars. So it's basically a way of saying, hey, we're going to take care of you. Go ahead and come here. We're going to take care of you. So Ethan Thompson is one of those players, but we know we also have players here in Kostas Antetokounmpo, Carlick Jones, Malcolm Hill, who's probably going to get that last two-way deal. Do you see these players staying in this system in Chicago for the Windy City Bulls, not on the actual Bulls, but do you see those players staying here and playing for our G League team?
I mean, I think they have to, right? Like, I think Kostas is an interesting one. Who else you say got waived?
No, not waived. Signed and waived. It was just Ethan Thompson. It was Ethan Thompson and somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, there was somebody, but none of the people who played on our preseason team.
I think Carlick will be a guy that sticks around because I don't think any of these guys showed anything that they stick with an NBA roster. I think Kostas is here for the reason that we all know, right? He's here for one reason and one reason only. And you got to see that Antetokounmpo on the back of a Bulls jersey. Smart marketing right there by AK. I like the move. But I think Kostas is, I mean, at the end of the day, right, like, you're playing the upside card with all those guys. Kostas is 24. Like, I thought Kostas was a lot closer to Giannis's age, and he's 24 years old.
24 years old.
So maybe he is going to, figure something out at this point, coming back to the NBA in a second stint that's going to help him, right? And if you're showing that in the G League, now all of a sudden they're looking at you and bringing you in. At a minimum, right, you want to use your G League as maybe these guys turn into something. Maybe these guys turn into something. I think Carlick Jones is kind of going to be what he's going to be. I mean, he clearly can score at an NBA level, but I don't think that he's got the size to stick on a team and be able to do it consistently. So I think that's going to be a little bit tough for him.
Let's see. And then they also signed and waived Henry Drell, who they immediately did sign to the Windy City Bulls. He is a foreign player, 6'9", 209 pounds. He was undrafted in past year's draft. He plays small forward / shooting guard at 6'9". So, yeah, I mean, The Bulls G League team is always interesting to watch, especially if you just like watching quality basketball. The G League team is always good to watch. But I'm looking at it like what we're seeing happen with the Bulls is interesting, that we're starting to see that shift. When you look at players that have been here on this G League team for a while, even before AK's reign and things like that, like dang, I forgot his name now. He's gone. No, the one who had been here for a while, the point guard. He actually left.
From Illinois.
Yeah.
Or from Chicagoland area.
I forgot.
I can't think of his name now.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Devon Dotson.
Yeah, Devon Dotson. But now they're starting to shift, and you're seeing that down in the Windy City Bulls, they're bringing in these tall, with great wingspan players that can play multiple positions, that can do a lot of things on the court. So AK they're trying to take a look. You never know, like, who's going to be the next Alex Caruso, right? You never know. So
I think that's how you get your McCourt Maker. That's how we make the McCourt Maker connection, I should say.
Yeah. So you'll see the Windy City Bulls are going to be an interesting team to watch, I think, this year. I do hope that they go out and get McCourt Maker. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear something in the next couple of days from some team trying to get him, because at the end of the day, he's raw as heck. He's not NBA ready right now, but there could be a nice player there if you can develop it.
Now, did the Wizards do the same, or was it a straight out waive?
No, they waived him to sign another player in his place. So they didn't do the sign and waive. They waived him outright.
It's so weird. It's like, I don't know. Maybe he showed nothing on the Wizards. Like, I have to go look at it, but it's just.
Well, the Wizards are a weird thing, because it's like the Wizards, are they gonna try to compete this season? Are they gonna enter the Wembyana sweepstakes? Like, are they gonna give it 10 games and be like, hey, look, we could make the playoffs, or we can just go ahead and tank this thing out?
I think you have no choice but to try and compete this season. You got Kyle Kuzma, who seems like he actually finally figured out how to play in his 6'10" body. Bradley Beal just got over $200 million, and Kristaps Porzingis is a part of the team. Like, it may not be a championship level team, but I think you've got too many players that are above average players on your team for you to tank it out.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know. I see. It's just like, if you're have the chance, if you're going to miss out on the playoffs, if they're 20, 25 games into the season and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to lock it up in an improved East, I don't care who you got on the team. You got to take a shot at Wembyana.
Well, I talked about it on Locked On NBA last night, right? I said there's going to be some teams that start this season that if the season doesn't start the way you're going to go, you're going to see them cash out. I think that the Hornets are definitely one of those teams. Mm-hmm. I think that you'll see Gordon Hayward up for trade at some point. Now, nobody's going to take that deal, but I think you'll see
somebody's going to take it. Watch, somebody's going to take it
for his 50 games and 63 wins or 16 points a game. I think there's going to be teams that start the season, and I think there might be some surprise teams. Who did I say in the East? I think I said, I don't remember. That was last night. It was a late night. I'm trying to remember who I said. I said a couple of teams that are like some long shot teams. Oh, I know. I said if Denver has injury issues again, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw them be like, we're Michael Porter Jr. ain't going to be the answer. Jamal ain't going to be the answer. Now, I think there's still, right, you have the 2-time MVP that basically single-handedly got you into the playoffs. So that's going to be tough to do. But there's going to be some teams that have talent on that team, and you're going to look at those teams and be like, why are they losing so much?
Yeah.
Sometimes organizations orchestrate stuff like that.
We'll see, man. It's going to be a really interesting season, because while there's a lot of competition around the league this season, there is a gem that is waited to be drafted as the number 1 overall pick that could change the outlook of your franchise. So it's going to be a lot of teams that could be on the precipice, that could be fighting for a play-in, that we just see at some point just be like, hey, man, listen, all of us, hey, by the way, you're hurt today. What do you mean I'm hurt? You're hurt today. Don't even worry about it. Don't you feel your hamstring? You pulled your ham. You just sit on there.
Same as OKC, bro. OKC last season, by the end of the year, when they were going after Chet, it was like, bro, what happened to like Josh Giddey and Lou Dort and Shea Gilgeous? And it was like, oh, they all got back, neck, shoulder, eye injuries. Huh? They got what? They did.
He sneezed too hard to hurt his neck, back, and eye. That's what happened.
They died. They did. Like, I see him. He's sitting on the bench. He's dead. He's not playing. He's dead.
Man.
Yeah, man. The Wembanyama. I don't think we've seen. I don't think the NBA has seen a tank like we're gonna see this season. And I keep telling us, I'm like, bro, there's gonna be some teams that you think are just supposed to be in it that just are gonna be like, we're not gonna win a championship with these dudes. Let's tank. Like the Wizards is a perfect example, right? They could be in the play-in. Don't be surprised if Bradley Beal's up for trade, if Kristaps Porzingis is up for trade, if Kyle Kuzma is up for trade. Don't be surprised by any of that.
Damn. That's tough, bro. That's good. That's tough. Hey, but you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Before we go, we got a couple of people, even though he's being annoying, asking about the Ben Gordon. You got anything to say on the Ben Gordon situation before we go?
I don't know enough.
Okay.
I don't know enough. You know what I mean?
Go.
Like, was he like beating on his child, or was he like disciplining his child? There is a difference. Now if you like, old school Alabama 1980s, yeah, okay, calm down, Ben. We're not in that era no more. But I mean, if you just like, you disciplining your kid, discipline your kid. I don't know enough to comment on it one way or the other, and I know people want to jump on that. And I don't think we've seen any pictures of the kid to this point, but I also haven't followed it that closely because I'm not a Ben Gordon stan like some Bulls fans are.
Yeah.
He was very inconsistent on the team.
What? I love Ben Gordon, man, but it is what it is. Bro. He wasn't here long enough for me to even like he was great when he was here. He had some amazing games and shooting performances, but I mean, it is what it is. But that's it from us for today, Pat. It is what it is. Oh, by the way, Kofi Coburn is not on the NBA roster.
Kofi.
I just had to rub that in there a little bit. But go ahead, brother.
Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us, man. By the way, Andre Drummond's best game versus Joakim Noah, debatable. He's got a 26-26 game or a 30-21, a 33-21.
Oh yeah, I looked it up too. So in Andre Drummond's first season, he averaged over 25 minutes against the Chicago Bulls and scored less than 21 total points. His first game in his second season, 25. He definitely had it circled on the thing. So, but that is it.
I looked that up. I was like 26-26. What is that?
That's crazy. That's crazy. You can follow me at CEO Haize, the CEO Haize, and thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, go and check on Locked On NBA, where the Locked On experts break down all those latest news, rumors, and developments going on in the NBA in 30 minutes or less. Our very own Pat the Designer's on there today. But that is it from us for today. Go Bulls. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
Peace.